Why can't you be quiet and listen? There were many times, certainly in the early days of my last job, when I was called into school to observe a child who was calling out all the time and disturbing the class. I have also heard many parents say, the problem is he or she doesn't listen. Once you understand why, it's usually fairly easy to alter, which is why it rarely happened in my work towards the end. Making a noise at a time that seems irritating, rude, or deliberately disruptive, at times that are deemed inappropriate to others, or when they are speaking, can usually be explained by one of the following. The first reason, I don't want to listen to what's inside my head, usually because it's full of criticisms or not nice memories, etc. I've experienced this mostly with older children, young adults, or indeed my middle-aged friends. Silence can be helpful for the thinking process, and we get more of it as we get older. But if the mind is full of difficult memories or general requests which we feel unable to manage, for example, setting up home on our own for the first time, etc., then we have a tendency to try and block out our thoughts. Younger people use listening to loud music, whilst often my friends would hum constantly in the background whilst others were talking. Continuous sniffing or coughing has also been used in my presence. The remedy here is to be supportive and patient, not critical. Let them be, but be ready to listen to their fears later if they want to share. The second reason is, I don't want to listen to what you're saying, because it produces a feeling inside me that I don't like. This is usually if it's a request to do something they might find hard or scary, perhaps. Young children particularly do this to avoid leaving something they are enjoying. To do a task they either don't want to do, for example, tidy up, or feel they can't do, for example, sums. Teenagers also do this, usually again to avoid tasks they see as not necessary, for example, tidying their bedroom. The answer for this is to use the square from my Insight 2, Why Can't You Do As You Are Asked? It covers expectation, direction, support and reward. The third reason is, if I am quiet, will you remember I am here? This is the most common one in young children, especially when in a class of 30. Children have often not learned about how to carry people inside them when they are apart, that is, mum and dad. So they worry if they don't keep the adult's attention in class, the adult will forget about them. It can be the same at home if they have a few siblings, or just one that's better at getting the adult's attention for whatever reason. The advice I would give for this one in school is for the adult to give eye contact to the child and smile, or maybe a nod whilst they are addressing the class. A hand on the shoulder works if the child is sat at their feet during story time or whatever. The same with a parent. Just include the child. A thumbs up in their direction can be enough to assure them that even though you are busy doing something else, you are still aware of them. Asking someone to be quiet, telling them to listen, or even turn their music down often doesn't work because it misses the mark, which is that you have realised that they are feeling isolated or dealing with difficult feelings. A smile gives the opposite message. Until next time, be kind to you and your child.